and Stone Pony history, as the title suggests, from the beginning to right now. Are we ready, panelists? During this session, I please ask you, please try to keep your voices down, put your cell phones on vibrate, and it is alright to take pictures and schmooze. Just keep soft and respectful so everybody else can listen through, and then you'll be rewarded for a nice little music performance after. We ready to roll this, Beth? I need a cue from someone from NYT. They're all shy. Okay.
Welcome. We're happy you could join us for this New York Times event. As a courtesy to our guests, please silence your cell phones. Most importantly, thank you to all of the Times subscribers who help make these programs possible. Enjoy the event.
Hey everybody! Hey! Hi! So, I'm Beth Weinstein, and I direct our subscriber event program. How many of you are subscribers? That's really exciting. Well, I want to say thank you. We're here in this amazing place because of you. Our subscriber events strive to provide a window into the newsroom and to provide the stories behind the stories. And tonight's event is exactly what we tried to do. Nick Corasaniti's oral history of the Stone Pony really brought this place to life in such a beautiful way. And so tonight, you'll get to hear from some of the people who he spoke to in writing the piece. And you also get to hear some music. So with that, I would like to introduce Nick Corasaniti. He is our New Jersey correspondent. He has also covered the 2012 and 2016 election, and he continues to write about all the things that make New Jersey unforgettable. Thank you. We're going to be back on the 15th at the showroom with a video series, so stay tuned.
Hey everybody, thank you for coming. It's amazing to see such a packed house in such a legendary place, and hopefully we'll be able to tell some stories that kind of make this place so legendary. So with that, I'll introduce my panel. First, the man who made this all possible, Mr. Jack Roig. Next up, we have a man who played on this stage many times, Vini Mad Dog Lopez. And then someone who had a lot to do with what happened on the stage and saw a lot of shows here, Eileen Chapman. And then lastly, we have the current manager, Caroline O'Toole. Thank you all for being here. So I'd like to start with Jackson. It started with you, and in our conversation you said to me that you never wanted to open a rock club, you actually just wanted to own a bar, and here you were. So I'm wondering when you first realized, like, oh, I've got a rock club on my hands, and what went through your mind then?
Well, actually, I worked down at the Riptide for a lot of years, and we had a lot of local bands. And they, when they came up here, they played up here, it was like all local stuff. but you realized you had a rock band was when Johnny changed the name from the Blackberry Blues Band to Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.
Yeah.
That's when you knew you had a rock club right then.
And you know, one of the things that made the Pony so unique was the ability to have bands that played what they wanted to play. It wasn't just top 40. So I'm wondering, Vini, as a musician on the scene, you know, what was it like to have a place like the Stone Pony after places like the Upstage closed and whatnot for you to play your music?
Well, we used to go up and down the coast, you know, just trying to find places to play, you know, like the Riptide, you know, places like that. No, you didn't want us. You didn't want us here, but we begged and begged and begged. And then they gave us a Sunday afternoon. And we were as local as you get, you know, with Ricky D, Johnny Larachi, Steve Schreger, and me. With 2 drummers, a bass player, and a guitar player. We used to play here on Wednesday night. Well, you gave us a Sunday afternoon, and I guess you liked us because you had us back for a while. So it was kind of cool. What's that?
What was the name of your band?
Oh, we were Cold Blast and Steel.
Great.
Yep.
And I think you were in the audience for a lot of those shows, right?
I was definitely in the audience for most of those shows, probably 6 nights a week.
And what was it like, you know, seeing a band start to have a regular presence here? What started to draw you initially?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the unique things about the Stone Pony is that when Butch and Jack opened this club, they created house bands. So they had the same band that would be here every Monday, the same band on Tuesday. It was Lord Gunner, it was Cold Blast and Steel, it was Stir Crazy. So all those bands got to create a fan base and a following. So it was kind of a really cool scene, and the longer they played, the more people came, and it just grew to like huge amounts of people that would come every night.
Jack, you mentioned to me, you know, 7 nights a week, you needed the local bands. How important were those local bands?
If it wasn't for the local bands, we wouldn't have made it. They were the backbone of the Pony. You know, like you say, Cold Blast and Steel, Shakes, everybody.
Colony.
Colony.
Right.
Lord Gunner, Blackberry.
Lord Gunner, right. Rathbone.
T.T. Quick.
All those
Wait,
bands.
hold on, I got a bunch of cats.
That's it. See there?
And yeah, if it wasn't for the local bands and their following and their, you know, you didn't realize how many people in this area followed the local bands. And it worked. It really worked.
We actually rehearsed to play here, you know? make sure it was okay. And that's the truth, you know, because you get a gig here, you get a gig there, but you were going to play at the Pony. And we got the Wednesday nights. When you were here on Wednesday night, you were here early. I mean, you're learning new songs and doing new stuff. It's important for you.
When you had a lot of
That's
local,
why we did it.
And when you had that local crowd coming, you know, and it was big for those first 2 years, but then it seemed like something changed Memorial Day weekend, 1976, when Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes had their live broadcast of their new album, and it went out to the world. What happened that night, and what happened after that, Jack?
That night, that whole, well, it wasn't just a night, it built up, there was a whole day. The projection, the planning and everything that went into that, it was amazing. And it was really one of the first big remote broadcasts. And then when the show went on, oof, it was phenomenal. It was just unbelievable. And I don't know if anybody was here, but if you were, you will never forget it. You'll never forget that night, and I never will. Right? One of the most exciting nights of my life.
Eileen, Vini, you were both here?
I was here.
I was here.
How long did you have to wait to get in? Or were you able to get in the back?
I have a seat at the bar.
So I came, my friend Hood, who's actually here tonight, he was working at a concert for John Shear at the casino. And when that concert ended and I was managing my parents' shop on the boardwalk, he said, come on, I'm going to take you over to the Pony for a show. And we walked over here and there's a line around the corner and he brings us to the front door. And at that point, right over here, these were all tables. And so he walks us up, gets us a seat right next to the band, and then the show went on. So it was really cool.
Some lucky
Thank you,
placement.
Hood.
So I'm wondering, you know, after that, you start to see a lot bigger crowds here. Do you start to get some national acts? Does a certain, you know, pretty well-known New Jersey rocker start to frequent the Pony a little bit more?
No, at that time, we didn't go to the national acts, I guess, until the 80s. It was the local guys were the backbone, and you stayed with them, and the crowd stayed with them. And you can tell, look, everybody's still here. Come on. You know, like,
some with open bar tabs.
Let me tell you, are you going to tell me, did anybody in here get ID tonight? You didn't need it.
The spirit's still young, right?
You got it, baby.
So on that note, you know, a little bit more wild times here at the Stone Pony. I know, Vini, you and Jack had a bit of a wild interaction one time. I'm wondering if you could tell that story.
What does he mean? What's he talking about?
I don't know. He's making this stuff up. You never know, you know?
Everybody has their ideas.
Yeah,
you know?
everybody they have their own stories about what they think happened.
Well, I laid down, they threw me out, and I went home.
True story? Here's the true story. I'm outside counting money to pay this meathead. Right? Next thing I know, he hits me in the head with this metal case. That's what we're going to go look for today, remember?
You were too big to ask.
Bang! He hits me in the head with this metal case. And I look at him, what the
And after I did that, I ran all the way home. I didn't stop.
Yeah, no, you stopped for the money.
Oh, no, I had to get that. The guys would have hit me, too.
But, yeah, we've been together a long time, my friend.
Jack, I saw him after 20 years. And I go up to him and I say, hey, Jack, how you doing? He goes, I'm great. You don't have that fucking briefcase with you, do you?
Well, on to maybe the just as wild, but maybe less violent moments. You know, when Vini, when you were, you know, walking around Asbury Park, you grew up here,
yeah.
And you know, you saw the town start to change. You used to go to, you know, you mentioned me going to the Empire Bar with Bruce and Danny and everything, and I'm wondering if when you started to notice that, you know, Asbury Park might be changing, even if the Stone Pony is still here.
Well, the Asbury Park went through many changes after the riots. The crowds disappeared, and you know, all of that, and then here comes Jack and Butch with the Pony. Things start to pick up again. Local guys get to be able to play again, you know. There's a few places to play. The Upstage, you know, we played at the Student Prince, you know. Bruce didn't start here. He started at the Student Prince over here with all the rest of us at the Upstage Club and the Student Prince playing the local gigs. And now the town seems to be coming around again.
Yep.
You know? Thank God, right? Thank God, you know? So somebody's making a stride in the right direction, and you got a council lady like Eileen over here. And I give her a big round of applause, you know? But it's all, you got to make a comeback. The local bands, they're all trying real hard. They're doing their thing, just like we used to do in the old days, except there's not as many places to play anymore. You got to really feel out that place to play and make your own way, you know?
And you know, we're talking a lot about the history, but I'm wondering, Caroline, you know, how much does the history kind of play into the attraction of the Stone Pony right now that we're able to, you know, have a crowd like this today?
Well, thank you everyone for, well, those who paid to get in. Thank you. But it really is. It's without the support over the years of the fan. It's the fan. It's the person who comes in and buy the T-shirt or the ticket, or just to come in and take a picture and put it on social media, and it keeps the legacy alive. It keeps the, you know, the attraction of coming here and coming to this beautiful city and to see history everywhere you look around here. You're seeing history that was either made or is being made, and it's all because of you guys. Really, thank you.
Yep.
The merch counter is open.
I have a hoodie, and they're very comfortable. I have it. We talk about the history and the legend, and a lot of that also comes from Bruce Springsteen playing here so much. But while he may have made more of an impact on people from the stage, Jack, he also had another job occasionally, right?
Another job?
Didn't he sometimes get behind the bar?
Bruce?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I'll never forget. I had two jobs. I was a IP consultant in the city, and I came in here one night, and I looked, and Gail is the front bartender. She's sitting on the bar, and the bar's pretty crowded. And I can't figure out what's going on. Here's this drunk behind the bar, giving the place away. Holy shit, that's Bruce. Right? And he was having so much fun, and everybody was having so much fun. It was worth it. I don't know if anybody was here that night, but it was it was great. It was great. He had so much fun, and so did everybody else.
Think he overpoured?
Every place, He missed the glass half the time.
And while he was coming so much, I think it also created a little bit of a community that was coming here regularly. Eileen, you told me about when you were working next door, right, during that summer that Bruce came here every Sunday night. And what would you do to kind of make sure you could get here on time?
So I used to manage Mrs. J's, which was next door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So Butch would call and he'd say, Bruce is going to hit the stage in a few minutes. And so we'd take the clock, which might be at 10 or 11 o'clock, and we'd turn it to 5 to 2, and we'd call last call and tell everybody they had to get out. And so we'd throw people out with food still hanging. Time to go. And then we'd all run next door and watch the show.
And so once Bruce is, after the Born in the USA tour, is touring a little bit more, and the Pony is moving into a little bit more of a national act. I'm wondering if any of you saw a bit of a change in the crowd. Did a different crowd start coming? Did another crowd start thinning, or anything like that?
Well, crowds are, like every band. Even the lowliest band on the planet has its own crowd. People are going to come see you. So you get a major act in here. People have never been here at the Stone Pony. Now they're here. They're going to come back, and all through our time doing it, the local bands might start out and you have 50 people. Hey, next week you might have 75 people, and it keeps building, and it keeps building.
The whole thing.
And that it kept building because in those days, in a lot of bars, and you'll back me up on this, you didn't go in and play on Friday night and then Saturday night was somewhere else. No, you went in on Wednesday evening and played till Sunday matinee every night, every set. And you were there for the whole summer.
Yeah.
You
You might be late going on for all your sets, but
you might be late. Well, we had Lance in the band, so better late than never. So, but no, and it changed. Now it's changed because now you don't go and you don't sit in that bar. Your equipment doesn't row roots on the stage, and your drums aren't always set up. So every night it's a new experience now for every band.
do you remember the size of the stage when you first started?
Oh,
It was like a postage stamp.
Yeah, it was small.
It wouldn't have gone from Nick to us. It was small, and it went out, and then it just
And where was it, Jack? It wasn't here, right? Was it?
No,
No, it was
No,
here.
it was right here.
No, it was here. This is where the stage was. Yeah, but I mean, you were right in the center of the stage.
Yeah.
And it might have been only out to about here.
Right.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very, half of this.
Right.
You know?
And then it had to go out this way and that way, and I don't know if it was out that far.
And then the equipment got more advanced,
Oh, yeah.
and the PA comes in, and you get the monitor speakers, and you get the bass fins under the stage, and everything expands.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful feeling to play on the stage because the sound people here are the greatest on earth, and I got to tell you that. And that's the truth, because I come in here, and you got the riser here now. And they still set me up by the horses, but You know, I come
From
in.
one ass to another.
Hey.
There's a friend.
I don't like when I see him. You know, but you hear great. You hear great. And I'll tell you, when the combination gets together where the band is hearing great and you're hearing great, it's good. We have a lot of fun.
When we right before the June show, Memorial Day, a lot of sound people came in and they said, what can we do to improve the sound? And the only thing they could ever come up with was put the curtain back there.
Right.
That was it. For some reason, this is a great room for sound, you know? And that thing helped too.
Yeah. Well, as we're talking about the stage getting bigger, you know, the pony's kind of gone through a few transformations. You know, it had when it first closed in 1991, it was, you know, closed for a little bit. It reopens under Steve Nasser, and I think the stage did move then.
It went over
Well,
the other side
yeah.
for Steve Nasser.
Yeah, and then when Dominic bought it and reopened it in 2000, it came back here, and now it's big enough to handle, I think, a lot more of the some of the bigger acts that you see in here, right, Caroline? So I'm wondering, you know, how has that kind of, you know, the attraction in the audience and the kind of different type of acts flowing through here, you know, improved and kept the pony alive?
Well, between 2004 and 2007 were some very, very dark days here. Development hadn't really happened too much. People weren't really coming back to the town because nothing had changed and people didn't feel that safe. And Starland Ballroom opened up in Sayreville, and it crushed us, absolutely crushed us. So I'm not really sure how we stayed here. It's some days I think about it and I'm like, how did we get through those times? But we did, and then in 2007 some good things happened. Just when the recession was actually hitting and the real estate market was tanking, the Bouncing Souls decided that they were going to start a 10-year run here called Home for the Holidays. And that started in 2007. And for 4 days, people would come here from all over, starting the day after Christmas, and they would stay in the hotel, and they would go through the town, and it looked alive. It looked alive for at least 4 days out of every year. And that really started a movement a little bit with some of our punk acts, and, you know, Gaslight, who came along the way and helped us out right after Superstorm Sandy, you know, playing some couple sold out nights at the summer stage. Also in 2007, just when it would have been very easy to walk away, Gary Mottola and Madison Marquette came, and Gary said, let's do it, and he put $90 million into that boardwalk over there. And that is why we're here. Really, we would have been so far behind still, and people say it was going to happen anyway. No, it wasn't. It happened because Gary said, let's do this. Because he believed in this town, and he proved it. And then we had started getting some good people in government. Our mayor, Ed Johnson, who came along. And we just started getting good people who cared about the city, and it started to show. And at the same time, because of Madison, we were able to bring more acts into Asbury through our partnership with Live Nation. They believed, when no one really wanted to come here, they believed in it. And they started bringing acts through, and it really jump-started more of the national acts coming here after Starland had hurt us for so long. So to all of those people, thank you. And that is really why the Stone Pony is here.
So I want to just do 2 questions to the panel at large, and I'll let you kind of all answer as it goes. But you know, as one of the, I think, things I tried to get across in the oral history was the kind of relationship between Asbury Park and the Stone Pony. You know, a town that's had so many ups and downs, and in a way, a rock club that has weathered so many ups and downs. And I'm just kind of wondering, you know, where in your mind you remember like how you saw the Stone Pony connected to Asbury Park. And I guess we can start with you, Caroline. I remember us talking about the night Clarence died.
Yeah, the night, the day after Clarence died, Kyle Brendel, who's our house promoter, he said, let's open. He goes, let's open and let's let people have a place who are going to come and need a place to, you know, to be. And I said, okay. So I didn't know how many people to expect. We opened the door, and during the course of the day, thousands of people came through. Thousands. And at one point, Kyle was playing live, Greetings Live from New York. And everybody was sort of standing in a circle. Everybody, it was packed. And there was people out there, and there was people outside in the door. And the part, two parts, but the part where Bruce says, and the big man joined the band. I tell you, it was one of the most, I tell everybody this, it was the most incredible feeling I've ever had here, and no one was even playing on the stage. But it was amazing, and that day I was just so glad that this was here, that day, that moment in time, for people who needed it. And you know, I'm glad that that happened. Glad that day was able to happen.
Well, I was here on that day when we did the thing, you know, with Clarence, you know. He was my roommate, Clarence, so I'm definitely going to come around for him. But like I said before, you know, for the Stone Pony, the place, it's here. It's not going anywhere. And I knew it wasn't going anywhere, just like when I met Bruce. I knew he was going to be a star. I knew that. First time I saw him play. You know? Castiles. He didn't know I knew it was him. Nobody did. But he made it happen. The local guys got together. We all got to play here. That's what made the Stone Pony, was the music coming up from the, you know, the basement, brought it up out of the depths and made it a real rock and roll place right here. You know, all over the world, this is the place right here for me.
We just can't afford to pay you. Some things never change.
You know, one thing I really believe that Asbury, when they opened up, was in the pits. And we kept people coming into town. We kept the name alive, Asbury Park. You know, you have this thing, the legendary Stone Pony. Well, that came from one of our guys, Roig.
Yeah.
Yeah, he coined that phrase, you know? Like soap. Sounds of Asbury Park. That's another one of his. You know, and it's, I really believe that during the dark times, if we weren't here, the town would have sank even lower than it was. You know, and then we kept going, and then the lady over there is keeping it going. And
there's always going to be people coming to this place.
I'm just proud to be here.
So I have to agree with Jack. When people didn't come to Asbury Park for any reason, they still came here for music.
Yep.
And I think that there's a few moments in time that, for me, connect the city to the Pony. The WNEW live concerts on the beach, which were tremendous events. And then when I was managing the Pony in the early 2000s, when Bruce did the Rising, and drove around town with Matt Lauer and some others to promote the businesses, which was just amazing because they were all struggling at the time. And then did shows in Convention Hall. We did an all-nighter here. Vinny, you were here. We were open for like 30 hours or something. But you know, all of these events that connect the town to the Stone Pony happen because people come here for music when they didn't come here for anything else.
And there's one other thing, your association, the music, the Asbury Park Foundation.
So the Asbury Park Music Foundation, which is new, but the Asbury Park Music Foundation now takes young children and gives them free music lessons at the lake house. We put instruments in their hands. We do everything we can to keep the music still rolling. Musicians to come up. We want musicians from grade school to come up and be able to play here and keep all of this going.
And I don't know if anybody knows, on Monday nights during the summer, Eileen and the rest of the town, they have a free concert on Springwood Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. The entertainment, you can't believe it. It's early in the evening and you have a great time. You have to get out there. Yeah.
And it's been the first time there's been music on Springwood Avenue, probably since the riot. So it's been a really important initiative of ours.
I heard J.T. Bowen was over there.
J.T. Bowen was there.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what I've seen on those shirts. I think the foundation might have made that said "Music Saved Asbury Park," and I think everything that we've talked about here tonight has kind of been a testament to that.
Actually, I had a musician come up to me last week and said maybe we can turn that around and say Asbury Park saved music too. So it works both ways.
It does.
It certainly gave us a lot of music. So we're gonna go to the audience question part. I believe that there's a microphone somewhere over there. If you look at my colleagues with their hands up, we'll take any kind of questions anyone has for any of our esteemed panelists.
Don't answer anything.
I will remind my panelists that you are under the New York Times banner, and so everything must be true.
Get a lawyer.
Statute of limitations.
I know nothing. I've seen nothing.
I've live fact checked before. I can do it again. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Not yet. Coming towards front.
If you can make your way over there, I think the mic is stuck over there. Just due to the...
next to the TV.
There we go. Next to the TV. Thank you.
There we go.
Or you can just shout it out. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Scream.
Thank you, Nick, for this. This is a great night. I'm so happy for the Stone Pony and Asbury Park to be back in the map again.
Yeah.
Vini Mad Dog Lopez. What happened?
What it is?
No, my question is... What?
What's the question?
The question is, I love you, brother.
Yep.
Are you still friends with Bruce Springsteen?
I've been friends with Bruce Springsteen since 1966. And nothing has changed. And that's the truth. You know, when you're in a band, you're like you're married almost, you know? Things happen. And it's never disturbed our friendship. Not one time. It's all business. Music is that way. You know, it's a rotten, dark, slimy, greasy hall. But there's a good side to it, too.
You sang with Bruce recently, right, Ben?
I did a show with him down in Philly. He was playing. It was the hottest day of the year down there. That was funny because now Dawn and I went down and we're sitting there kind of early. And now the band starts trickling in and it's 98 degrees. It's hot. And Max sees me. So he knows I'm there and he comes walking up to me. Oh, Vinny, it's good to see you. Hey, you're going to play a couple of hours tonight, right? And I said, no, I'm not doing anything tonight. But then Bruce made me sing a couple of songs with him, and I was real happy about that.
I got a question.
What it is?
I want to hear from Eileen her favorite South Side story.
South Side story.
Stone. Come on, Eileen. What's your favorite one?
South Side story. It would have to be when they were first playing here, and they've actually played here 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
So when I moved into Asbury Park in '74, I lived down the street from Carlo Novi, who was in the Jukes, and David Myers, who was in the Blackberry Blues Band. And so They played here 3 nights a week, and we came here 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
It was a much smaller club. I don't think the back bar was.
No, it wasn't there.
Not at that
just
time,
this
no.
part right here, and it was just. We watched the crowds grow and grow and grow, and each night got better and better and better, and everyone was great.
Yep, we were there. It was great.
It was great.
I don't want to go home.
That's right.
Dawn told me her favorite South Side story, and I'm going to tell you what it is, because it was really hot in here. It was 10,000 degrees in here. The place was packed. They're playing. He had on black jeans. He said, it's so goddamn hot. Anybody got scissors? They got scissors. And he cut his pants. He made shorts on stage while he's singing. You know, I mean, come on, that's Southside.
I never understood how you guys survived on this stage. It was so hot.
Yeah, the lights. Well, now the LED lights are
The
better.
air conditioning here was, abominable.
It's much better. Please don't let that affect your July plans.
That was the old days. Oh, God. No. But, you know, people couldn't pass out because they were so packed.
We used to have to put a fan on the breaker box so the breakers
Right.
wouldn't go and just blow the whole place.
But it's hot.
I remember we had a benefit here once, and Kiss was on stage, and they were supposed to do an hour. About 30 seconds into the set, everything blew, right? And somewhere or another, I found how to turn the juice back on. They went back on, and they did an hour. I mean, they were the most professional. 1 hour. Not a second more, not a second more. And you know what I never remember about that? Were you here?
I was here.
Were they
They were in makeup.
They were in makeup.
makeup.
Yeah, you know, like, I must have really been hitting the sauce.
Sounds like a good show. Any other audience questions? Ooh, this is a good one.
How did the Stone Pony get its name?
Private.
I'll tell you after the show. He told me.
I woke up one morning and I just happened to be next to somebody I didn't really know, but it was little horses on a shirt. And it was like November of '73. I was looking for a name for this place, and I don't know where it came from. It just popped into the head, and that was it. There was no dream. There was nothing. It was just like divine intervention.
At least you didn't name it 36D.
That was beautiful.
That's what you said to her.
Yeah. All right, another question from the audience.
You follow that.
Well, I got nothing to say. Good, let's have a drink.
Well, I do have one more question that I'd love to ask all of you guys. If you could remember your favorite night here, if there's one night that sticks out, that you could, and I'll give you a minute and I'll just kind of talk while you guys think. But if there's one night that really either, kind of brought out the essence of what the Stone Pony was to you, is really seared in your mind as like a memory, or kind of just will make everyone laugh.
I'll go first. My friend, Deb DeLissa. Deb, where are you?
She's back over here.
One night, Toby Keith was playing at the PNC, and he wanted to come down to Asbury Park because he had heard a lot about it, and he went over to the Wonder Bar. It was probably 10 to 2. They were on motorcycles, and Deb wouldn't let him in because it was 10 to 2, and she was closing at 2, and she wouldn't let him in. So he came over here, and we let him in. And he walked around here for probably about an hour, if anyone from the ABC was here not drinking. Walked around and he looked at everything on the walls and he was telling stories, and it was just an amazing night. And you know, it's funny, not everything that happens on the stage. There's other things that happen too, like the artists walking around the town and telling you stories about when they came here years ago, or their favorite Bruce story, or their favorite you know, just being here story. So that was a good one though. But so thank you, Deb, for that, because it made 2 pieces of history that night. One not for the Wonder Bar, and one for her.
Well, my favorite stories about this place is, it's like I play here. Sometimes I'm out there and I listen, and my favorite listening points was on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, when the Jukes were here. All your friends were here. It was a very local place. Didn't matter if you were playing on the stage or not. Just to hear the great music coming out of those guys. And we were, like I said, we were a family here, so we all would come almost every night. You know, you get here at midnight. You don't wake up till 11 o'clock. You know, so you get here at midnight and you hang out, and then after here, you're all with your friends. Where are we going? To the Jeff. To the Jeff. To the Jeff. The Jefferson Hotel was down there. It was open till 5 a.m. And they had a putt-putt golf course next door. We'd bring putters and hop over the fence. This was a great place in those days. But my memories, most of them are sitting right here where I'm sitting, playing for you guys. My pleasure. Thank you.
You asked me, and my first thoughts would be the night where we did the broadcast with the Jukes. That was just, it was just awesome. But then listening to Caroline and the backstage things, what you said, sitting in the back room with like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and with the Ramones,
yep,
and with
Jared Leto. That was
cool. Okay, that's enough of that. But that was the whole place, you know, it was just a wonderful place. And it still is. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
And I agree with Jack and Vini. I think the WNAW broadcast was one of the best nights here. But also, I could come in here any night of the week and still can, and have friends that are still at the back bar. So it's still a local bar. Right back bar, kids, wave your hands. And it's always been that way. It's been a legendary bar, but it's also been a local bar for those of us who live here. And that's been important to all of us as well. And I guess one of my most notable nights was when Tim McClune brought his big Holiday Express show here to play on our Stone Pony Summer Stage first year we had it. And while he was playing, his car was stolen. So there you go. There's the good and the bad.
That summer stage, that actually reminds me, you bought the first summer stage.
I did. So we needed a new car. My husband said to me, go out and get a new car. And then my friend Tinker, who you all may know, happened to call me that day and said, hey, you know, I'm thinking of selling my stage. And I said, really? What are you selling your stage for? And he said, I'm thinking 10 grand. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. So I went up to Tinker's place in the Highlands, and he had his outdoor stage in a trailer, and I bought the stage instead of buying a car. And so we brought it back here, and Tinker had someone come and put the stage up, and then my husband came after work and walked in, and everybody said, hey, you got a new car. And so he walked outside and looked around and said, where's the car? And I'm like, that's a big thing right there. So he was shocked a little bit, but then built the first outside bar for us. So thank you, Tony.
It was a music vehicle.
It was.
Oh my.
Do you remember who played that first show on the summer stage?
First show on the summer stage may have been Clarence, actually. Could have been Clarence first show on the summer stage. And then we had a bomb scare, so we had to evacuate.
I remember that.
And then bring everybody back in to finish.
So the show still went on.
Show went on.
The show always goes on.
Yep.
You know, one thing that kind of stuck out to me as you guys were all sharing your memory is how much of a kind of family it seemed like everyone was
definitely.
here. As much as like the fans and then you guys too. And there was one picture that when we were digging around in the Bruce Springsteen archives, which is a really cool thing if you guys don't know about. There was a picture of the Stone Pony softball team, and and you guys used to play against Bruce and the E Street Band, if I remember correctly. And I'm wondering who won more of those games?
We did.
Oh, no way.
We stole John Henry from you guys.
Yeah,
He could hit homers.
Yeah, but if John Henry could get lost going from first to second base. You know, one thing I remember about those games is Bruce is not a bad second baseman.
No.
Not a bad second baseman at all. And I was on first base, and I'm about as fast as a stump. Right? And somebody hits a ground ball, and I'm running to second base to break up the double play, and all I think in my head is, Roig breaks Springsteen's leg. Don't. Just stop. Right? That's all right, we won the game.
No, you guys won your share of the games. I'm only kidding, you know.
And that goes back to really kind of what made this place. I mean, it was the bands were great. But your staff, you had the same staff forever. Your staff had followers. Your bartenders had followers. You guys at the front doors had followers. I mean, people came here because of the whole connection. I mean, you know, we would hang out after hours, and Butch would bring people to his house to swim in his pool. So the connections went far beyond just employee-employer relationships. It was really a broad family and friends connection.
Yeah.
Which continues to this day.
It does,
and
absolutely.
And my staff is the best around, and Bobby Jones has more followers than I believe.
Right. Well, I think that brings it up unless there's any last audience questions. But thank you all so much for being here. This has been
Thank you, everyone.
So we're going to go just for a brief minute while we all clear off. We got someone who I think you guys have all heard of who's going to be coming on stage. Southside Johnny. And he's actually got a special guest with him, another frequenter on the stage, Mr. Bobby Bandiera. So you'll see the two of them on quickly. We're going to change up the stage real quick, and they'll be out. So thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for reading. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. See you soon.